Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. This is Corpus Christi. When you come into town, you're gonna see some carbon plants, and that's like stuff that has to do with oil, I guess. My daddy was telling me all about it because he is smart. So that was what we were talking about as we're driving, and I look at another plant over there, which is all just kind of newer to me to see refineries and things of that nature. So Corpus Christi has a lot going on in terms of actual industry, but it's really quiet when you get into the town. So we drove into the main area off the water, which is like Water Street, stuff like that. Your main streets, and here we come into town. It's cool and it's cute, but it is really, really dead. We went to this amazing restaurant, the Water Street Oyster Bar. Baby was super hungry. We had been traveling a long time, and he wanted milk. Sorry about this shot here. It's the way things happened at the table. Maybe I could edit it out. But he was mentioned on food. Our waitress did not care. My nursing food. And of course, he's at that stage where he has to have both, gosh darn, breasts in his life. And he gets upset if I don't let him hold the other breast. I got Pain Purdue, or actually it's spinach and something, hash browns. Look at that big bite going in. So this place was delicious. It has a 4.4 star rating. Sorry, I'm in my closet studio right now, and baby's outside the door being loud. It was really, really good. They have all scratch muffins. I don't know, they homemade everything. The hollandaise was really good. Daddy got some fried fish, and I also got oysters, and they have a lot of, they have good West Coast, East Coast, they have Gulf Coast options, so that's cool. There goes the camera falling over. It has high ceilings and ventilation. This was during COVID, and was nice inside. Very great staff, very delicious food. Now we're headed to, we stuffed ourselves because we're actually headed to the beach now, and I am nursing while driving, which is probably totally dangerous, I know, but I keep my belt around me, and that's kind of how that rolls. Baby is all about constantly being with me and getting fed by me still, and he's been sick a lot. As you guys know, he has some issues right now that we're testing. But as you drive through Corpus Christi, there's a lot of nice houses on the water. You have all different styles, stucco, tile, all that good stuff. They're all pretty nice looking and well maintained. A lot of new builds we were noticing. But it seems pretty well maintained, and I'm sure there's all different areas of Corpus Christi. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. The town was super quiet. I mean, everything's quiet with COVID. We were in New York City this year, and other places like New Haven, other metropolis or bigger cities, and they're all quiet. They're all different from what their normal hustle and bustle is, which is definitely New York City was crazy. Now we're headed still down the main road, and we're going to actually check in and pay for parking, and you can get annual passes at any of these parks, but this is the South Padre, or it's Padre National Seashore. It's a barrier island, and it, I think, is the longest, or actually it's just really preserved and taken care of, except for the Gulf Coast trash that comes in from the, kind of, I think, how the Gulf Coast waters move. It just comes all up on the shore, all that trash circulates. But we're just chatting about Corpus Christi, the huge breakfast we have. We do not have an equipped van for cooking and all that stuff. We prefer not to cook inside the van that we got, our Mercedes Sprinter. So the only outfitting we've done, I'll show you later in this video, is our bed. And yeah, so we're coming along, and it's really cool. There's dunes you can kind of see all around, which I'm sure there's just so much wildlife in there, which is super cool and very enjoyable to look at. The scene of the blue and the tan and the green and the reeds and the different vegetation is really pretty. In this Mercedes Sprinter, you have a lot of amazing angles to look at because it's like a 360 view. I did find the bathroom. I had to throw this in because this bathroom was the most weird situation. The ocean is like below it or something, or the ocean breeze comes up as you're going to the bathroom, and the hole was scary. It was really scary, and so sorry to gross you if I gross you out, but I was like, so yeah, it was a scary bathroom. Get back to the car, and we're ready to head to the actual campsite. Baby's a little upset, cannot wait to get out of the vehicle permanently. Oh my God. Now we are actually heading in from the pavement to the sand, and it reminds us a lot of the coast, the Atlantic coast in North Carolina, the Outer Banks. How in certain areas it's like once you get on that sand, you better be ready to have either 4x4 or all-wheel drive and so on. So now we're just cruising along on there's 5 miles, and this area, I think a lot of vehicles, as you can see, can make it. Different types of vehicles, not 4x4. It's very pretty, and there's lots of sand, and then the dunes on one side and the ocean on the other. Trying to get baby to look at the ocean, and he doesn't want to. He wants to feed, nurse. That's all he wants to ever do is nurse. He's a funny guy, but we're going to come to 5-mile marker soon, and then at that point we will have to switch on 4x4. With a Mercedes Sprinter, you do want to turn off traction control and things like that before you go on sand, and you want to keep your RPMs between 2 and 3. So it's an interesting kind of place you want to be. But there's all different kinds of vehicles and vans, people that are outfitted, people that aren't, a lot of fishermen. The ocean and the wind is pretty strong, and there are man-of-war, like jellyfish, stuff like that. 300 and some odd species of birds. So there's mile marker 15. So now we are in the 4x4 area. We've probably gone 10 miles at this point through some scary moments, but it's been actually, I don't know what that mile marker is because that was like a Corvette. But yeah, basically after mile marker 5, you have to have a 4x4, and you're just risking no bueno situation happening. I see the clouds in the ocean. It was so pretty. I drove for a little bit just to feel the sand. Now here, I'm like, you got this, to my partner, and I had already gone through some of the sand in 4x4 and felt it, but I got nervous, so I said, you drive now. So here we go through it, and you can hear the 4-wheel drive working because it is really deceiving. I mean, it's not. It's thick and soft and flat. It's really deep over to the right, but ultimately we got to a spot, I think around mile marker 20, and there
that was a big
nobody
chunk.
around.
I was a little worried about that one.
So there's a big chunk we almost didn't get through right there. That was like, whoa. And yeah, you definitely, if you have a heavier vehicle like us with a van, but I mean, especially well-equipped vans with like kitchens and stuff, ooh, I can only imagine. It's definitely, you want to stay in tracks. You want to, the 4x4 is really working here. Again, this is a 60-mile stretch, so we only barely went halfway. I think maybe we went to mile marker 25. He's really pushing through it. So the RPMs and like what you're doing is so crazy. You really do. I think we took the wrong track here because it was thicker over here. We just didn't want to go close to the ocean for some reason.
Vanna's doing
we're
really
working
good.
through this. Our van is named Vanna
Dada.
White.
Dada.
And
wow,
I was just like cheering my partner on.
Oh my God, Vanna.
So we got
Okay,
through
so
some
the question is, do you
crazy
wanna get
stuff
big
right here.
scared?
And we've been doing this for a while now. And at this point, I'm like, do we want to find a
Ooh, that was
spot
scary.
to camp now? Because it is scary. Because once you get trapped out here, it's going to be hard to get out.
I feel
There's
like
no cell service.
the tide's gonna come up.
Here's me freaking out,
On us.
talking.
Just, I think there's some, if it's not, I think you just get through this chunk and we're gonna pick after this truck. Deal? And we're just gonna do the best not to rush it. We have nothing to rush. We just don't want to break and stop. Right? That's the goal. Keep your steady RPMs.
So I'm being positive and supportive to get through this chunk.
Good.
And we're going to find a spot to camp for the night. So we're close to our destination.
Got it. And this isn't that bad. That
And
one
it's
last
the
little bit.
tide's coming in, so this beach is going to get smaller, if you can imagine that.
Nice.
This is good thick stuff, and he's going, and it bumps up and down. On our way out of the Padre Island National Seashore, we did this huge jump. I wish I had recorded it, but we're really bumping up and down right now. I remember this is our first 4x4 experience with Vanna White. She is our new love of our life. It's like hill climbing. It's like duning. It's like up and down. And this huge van is just going boom, bum, beam. It's great. It's like amazing.
Is that a Nissan Xterra? So don't worry. Vanna's a badass.
Like that's a Nissan Xterra on the other side, I think, or something. So I don't know if it's all-wheel drive or 4x4, but we can get through this. But we're getting close to our spot, and what we're gonna do is back in, or no, we're gonna go forward, and we're gonna make a track to park in. But also another thing I want to address when you're driving out here, a lot of driftwood, which means that piece to the right there of the hat is where the ocean's going to come up to high tide, possibly. So basically, also, there's trash everywhere, only because the Gulf Coast waters, like I said, bring it in, and it is scary to drive over, because what if you pop a tire or run over like something sharp? So now we're kind of like, we're going to adventure a little further forward. We have no cell service, remember. It is a scary situation, because if you get stranded, we have food, we have wood for one night to stay warm. We do not have a heater in the vehicle, so we, just cuddle up. Okay, now we're at the point where I think we're, finally finding our spot, but the water's coming up more and more. Look at those massive birds. They're just these massive pelicans. They're so cool. We decide to go in forward, and then we're going to make a pathway in and out. We're going to back in and out, back in and out. We do that, and that worked out pretty well for getting us in and out. We found a spot. We pushed all the way as far up into the soft sand as we could, and we just did not want to. And we saw somebody's fire here, so we thought if they were going to fire here, then the ocean's not going to be coming up to that fire, and it didn't. And you'll see when we have a fire here in a minute that is exactly what happened. Like, the ocean was not as scary as we thought coming in close to where we were sleeping. It's like, you do not want to get washed away by the ocean while you're sleeping. That would not be good. So now here what we do is, again, I'm just being bossy and telling my man what to do. No, that's what we do. We get everything done, ladies. So we proceed to get this all set up, and it is just so beautiful to be by the ocean, and we're just so happy to smell the fresh salt air and the humidity. And now we're just making sure that there's no pokey stuff, and we're gonna park this beautiful van that we love so much and are so excited to travel the nation in with you guys, and share as much as we can of what we experience in different places. So it's gonna be exciting for us, and hopefully whoever comes along the journey. Sorry about the armpit shot there. It's pretty hairy. And now we are going to move away from this shot. I don't know what I did with the camera here. Sorry. So you can see that pretty breeze in my hair. And we're just moving on to the next shot, lady. Your armpit's nasty. Okay, here we go. All right, now we're just going to keep videotaping the love of my life. He's saying, what do you want? What do you want? You do this, you do that. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, get it, girl. I'm like, yeah. So these are the tracks that we like kind of made. And now we're parked. There's our fire. So the ocean didn't come up too much more. And oh my gosh, the birds, you guys, were insane. I'll just let you look at that. How pretty. Look at that coral. Tan, they go like right above you. It's like, it's unbelievable. It makes my heart just leap right now how beautiful and amazing that felt to be so close to nature. And there's our little bed and our supplies, some, paper goods and food. We're not too much of fatties. And then our bed, we need more sheets and comforter. Got pretty cold. There's little guy, he's up. And Daddy's making a fire. So the fire didn't turn out so well because the smoke started blowing into the fan. And it was just a smoke fest. So we had to pour sand and water on it to put it out. And it is very windy here. Little toesies. Those are mine. And it is very windy. Very, very windy. So essentially, you never really get to truly relax. And we have so much sand.